Cool. What's up, guys? My name is Nick. I'm the lead product specialist at Native Instruments in Los Angeles. And today I have with me the Komplete Kontrol S series, which is a first of its kind keyboard controller built specifically to integrate with the entire Komplete library. It comes in a 25, 49, and 61 key model, all of which are equipped with a very luxurious feeling FITAR keybed, which you just saw me playing. So whether you're a traditional player or a drummer like me, it feels really good, and it's something that I felt was really lacking when using third-party MIDI controllers with Komplete instruments. Also, the guts and the heart of this keyboard is a dedicated browsing software called Komplete Kontrol, and that really starts with the navigate section over here. So once I hit the magic browse button, a browser will then show up on my screen, and this gives me access to the entire Komplete library. And I'm not just limited by an individual engine. You can see here that I have every single instrument, but say I don't want to browse by individual engine, I just want to browse by type. What I can do is, just give me a second, I'll deselect my polyplex here. So what I can do when I search by type is just to choose, say I just want a bass tone. I'll select bass, and then maybe I get in a little bit more and just choose sub bass. Then I have a list of every single sub bass patch in the entire Komplete library, whether it's massive, contact, razor, reactor, it doesn't matter. And this really opens up the floodgates of the Komplete library in a way that has never really been accessible before. And I find myself finding patches that I didn't even know existed. Right now I have Prism. The next patch could be something in contact. Let's see what it is. We have razor, and then the next patch could be something else. So instead of searching by such the massive library or something where you really pigeonhole the entire Komplete experience, now you'll find yourself finding patches that you didn't even know existed, and it really speeds up and creates inspiration in places that you didn't know there was. Another thing that we've done with the S series is add native map. And what native map is basically every important parameter of all of our synthesizers are now mapped out in pages of 8 knobs. It's also worth noting that these knobs are capacitive, so all I have to do is touch them, and you can see that the parameter is then going to show up. So there's no need to twist to see exactly what your value is. And I think the best example of this is massive. So I'm going to load up massive. It doesn't matter what the patch is. And you'll notice that the first page is the macro controls, what we like to call the macro controls. And these are the 8 parameters that you're obviously going to want to tweak. And as I flip through, you can see that our sound designers meticulously went through each individual patch and made these macro controls. You can see that they're switching. And then every page after that is an order of preference. So I know just by working with this product that page 5 is going to be oscillator 1. I go to page 5, there's oscillator 1. I can then tweak my patch, and I know that page 9 is my filter. So this is something that you're going to memorize, and you're going to find yourself, instead of going to the mouse, you're just working within these pages, and it speeds up your workflow and really offers this hardware instrument feel to it. Another helpful feature of the S series is the light guide, which gives you LEDs for each key, offering really helpful feedback, especially when using contact or sample-based instruments. Right now I have loaded up West Africa, and this was a patch that I always had a hard time finding phrases and variations. And you can see on the GUI here that it tells you that C1 is my variations and C2 is our phrases, but let's face it, if you are working with a MIDI controller without a light guide, I really don't know where C1 is unless I'm flipping through octaves, and sometimes I'm like, is that a variation? I'm not sure what that is, but the light guide, you can see it's clearly labeled. My phrases are in red, so now as I play, you also have visual feedback of the playback of that drum pattern that's being played. So I could play that, and then furthermore, I could even play some drums on top of it. Another thing that the light guide ties into really well is the performance sections. And for this, I'm going to load up one of our new pianos. Let's do the Gentleman. The Gentleman is a Bechstein upright, a really fantastic sounding piano, something that was really impressive from day one, and I can imagine it's going to be used on many records moving forward. And to start, let's go over the scale feature. So there's 2 different scale modes. And to start this, let's start with standard scale mode, and I'm going to go to the chromatic scale. The root note's always going to be lit up a little bit brighter than the rest of the keys. So as I flip through my root note, say I'm in the key of F, I go up to F, and then F is going to be lit up on the light guide. And as I switch scales, you're going to see in standard mode, all of the keys or all of the right notes within that scale are then going to be lit up. And I can't play a wrong note, so you see there's going to be duplicates. On top of that, there's an easy mode. And ironically, the easy mode, instead of having the black keys as a non-player, I always found the black keys to be easy. It lays them all out onto the white keys. So whatever scale it is, whether it's a minor or a blues scale or a Japanese scale, there's a number of different scales, and we can add more moving forward. So this is really only the genesis of the scales. There's two different types of chord modes as well. One is harmonic chord mode, and I'll go back to chromatic real quick. And when working in the chromatic scale, you can see there's going to be typical or very common music theory chords. Perfect fifth, minor, major seventh, so on and so forth. And then as I flip through my different scales, I'm then given intervals. So I start with an octave, which is the root note, and then the octave above. 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, so on and so forth. We also have chord sets, and this is something we're really excited for. With the chord sets, how it works is there's 12 chords within an octave, and our sound designers designed these chord sets to work really well. So as I start from the beginning, I have 12 chords that work well within an octave. I have 8 major and 8 minor. When this gets really fun is when you combine it with the arpeggiator. So I won't get too deep into the arpeggiator, but I'll say there's two modes. One is a basic note repeat, and then the other is the arpeggiation. I can choose the type of arpeggiation, the speed. I can switch it up with different sequences. I can choose the dynamic control. And this is a really good way to check out how good these pianos are, because I have really soft MIDI notes, really hard MIDI notes. So it's very diverse, and you can learn chops. You know, it's a different way of playing the instrument. Last but not least, I definitely wanted to touch on our touch strips. Right? So the touch strips, or we like to call them the touch mods, offer a really interesting way of controlling our instruments. And I think the best example of this is Razor. So give me a second to load that up. So with the modulation wheel, you can see right now it's moving. So it has these different movement features. There's gravity and friction. So I could take this guy and just flick it up, and it's going to bounce back and forth. It's going to modulate as it's going back and forth. And with the touch bend wheel, gives me a really percussive way of adjusting the pitch. And it's new, and it's something that we felt really represented the native instrument better than spring-loaded jog wheels and pitch bends. Last but not least, we have a transport. So regardless of whatever DAW you have loaded up, these are things that are really going to help keep your hands off the mouse and really bring this whole take control experience to the keyboard. So there's a rundown of the Komplete Kontrol S series. For more information on this product and all other Native Instruments products, be sure to call your Sweetwater sales engineer right now.